Hi Jonathan, Simon Tranter here, Head of Sustainability for Wilmot Dixon Interiors. Thank you for watching this video. I'm stood in our boardroom today, having spent a large part of it planning our sustainability review, or magazine actually as it will be, for the Wilmot Dixon Interiors business, which will look back at the last 12-18 months and celebrate some of our sustainability successes, what we've achieved as a business, but more importantly who we are, what's our culture, what's our purpose, what are our values. The reason for filming this video is I wanted to give you a very quick overview of this document with the hope that you might possibly help us with a thought piece or a forward with your reflections on the industry and its sort of future state. I'll come onto that in a minute once hopefully I've given you a quick overview of the document. So Charles, if you just wanted to bring the camera around, I'll give you a whistle-stop tour of what we're hoping to achieve. So we'll have the front cover, obviously, the title is As Yet Unknown, and then opening up after the front cover we'll have a double page picture, something nice of the environment to rest people's minds before indulging themselves in some information. Standard sort of first couple of pages, really an introduction to the business, our vision, our model, our purpose, about us, and then Graham Shaw, our managing director, will talk about the importance of a sustainable business and achieving profitable growth in a sustainability context. Instead of a contents page, we'll have then a key features page, which will just provide a high-level overview of some of the key articles. And then next to that, the people who we would, say have helped to deliver these achievements are our staff. So an introduction to HR, how we recruit, attract and retain the best people. And then following on from that, in keeping with our sort of people theme, a bit about EDI and our community investment work, how we have moved from focusing just inwardly at our own staff, but also our impact on people externally as well in communities and through the supply chain. We'll then have a 2-page marketing spread, a project case study, just with some general information on a project refurbishment, and then moving into a section for myself about understanding why we do what we do. This is very much in keeping with Simon Sinek's philosophy around purpose and why companies do what they do, just sort of underpinning some of the key drivers there. Next to that will be our section on awards, celebrating some tangible results in the industry, and then next page after that will just be a very quick high-level overview of statistics and performance for 2017, so some of the stuff you'll have seen at a group level, but specifically for Wilmot Dixon Interiors around waste and carbon, etc. We then move into our first sort of technical section. We'll have a placehold here, sort of a thought piece from someone like Noel De Bruin, who is our framework director, just talking about the start of the journey, the customer journey. That moves us in nicely to a focus on retrofitting and energy efficiency, so taking existing buildings and turning them into new meaningful assets, which is obviously what we're all about within the interiors business. That will be a 3-page spread focusing on a project as a case study. We then move into an interview with one of our technical services managers with a focus on mechanical, electrical and plumbing and his thoughts on the industry, supported by a case study, another sort of marketing case study. We then have another short article on meeting or going beyond our customers' requirements, I should say, and this specifically is around material efficiency and design and waste management, so understanding the uniqueness of clients' needs and meeting those. I've written a short blog on plastic and why all the fuss. Obviously there's a lot of hype around this at the moment. In response to some of this, interiors businesses set up a waste task team, so again I'll introduce what our intentions are as a business to help tackle the plastic and waste issues more generally. This leads on nicely to a very short yet relevant introduction to biodiversity for the interiors business, just a little nod to what we're trying to achieve as a fit-out business, supported by a case study on how we've delivered that through some of our community investment work. This leads in nicely to a sort of more detailed description of how we deliver social value and how we deliver that on behalf of our clients, how we understand their needs and what good planning and preparation looks like at the pre-commencement phase. Again, this will be supported through case studies and illustrations of how we've actually achieved that. We then move into an entirely new section which is about health and well-being, the well-being agenda and workplace productivity. So I've written a few pages here on how you design for workplace effectiveness, productivity and happiness. We have a supporting article here on BREEAM and health and well-being, how the two standards, BREEAM and WELL, align. So there's some technical information there on how that's achieved if anyone's interested. This is supported by another article on healthy materials specifically, and also sustainable procurement, and again a nod to some of the initiatives and approaches that we have as a business and what we've achieved on some of our jobs. All that technical information is then supported by a project-specific case study, so how we've actually delivered some of these things in a real-life context. 39 Victoria Street being a notable example, which has picked up a number of awards for us in the 2017 period. We then move into a new section altogether, which is around delivery, and our Director of Operations, John Coles, will probably introduce this section with a focus on quality and our one team approach. We've introduced a new quality lab within the business, which helps us to focus on quality defects and design issues in collaboration with our supply chain. So again, we'll make a reference to how we're actually tangibly dealing with quality issues in a real life context. That moves in nicely to a section on the supply chain, and our supply chain manager is going to write a section on what good performance looks like, focusing on things like relationships and trust, and having an aligned supply chain that understands our corporate objectives. That's a 3-page spread, which is then supported by a specific case study on social value and how supply chain have helped us with some of our social value work in the community, providing work experience and apprenticeships, things like that. We then have a section on data, the importance of robust and specific data, how that data helps us to make decisions, what value it adds, and how we use that data to improve and make decisions. Again, covering off some of our key performance indicators, but some of the more broader aspects of business performance as well. Again, we move into another 2-page marketing project case study, just showcasing some of our more elaborate projects. And then finally into the handover stage, which is really focused on legacy and giving our customers actually what they've asked for and the importance of delivering on those expectations. This will be supported by, first of all, a social value case study, mainly around legacy and how social value can have a real impact on what the role of the contractor is in helping to do that. We then have a section on the performance gap and soft landings, and I know this is an area that's true to your heart, so we've got a strong emphasis there on the importance of designing and buildings performing as they should do. This leads into a section on designing for deconstruction and the importance of using modelling and software to help with the life after the asset, and then that's supported by a project case study, which will conclude sort of our technical section of the document. Before we get to the very end, we then finally have a section, hopefully from yourself, Jonathan, which is really about the future and where the industry is going and what it might look like and what some of the key challenges could be in the context of sustainability, obviously. This will come before our final section on the future state and our vision, model and purpose for the organisation and where our intentions are over the next sort of strategic period, sort of 3 to 5 years, and what good looks like for us as a business. And then finally the last page there, which we are currently undecided on. So that hopefully has given you a bit of an overview of what we're trying to achieve with our document. Obviously, I'd be delighted if you're interested to know a little bit more about this and maybe discuss the idea of contributing in the way that I've just explained. But for the time being, I'll give you an opportunity to have a think, and maybe we can speak once you've had some thoughts. So thank you for your time, and hope to hear from you soon.